I currently coach at middle school, high school, um, and upper level club soccer levels. I'd like to coach at a college. Doesn't really matter what level, any division, but would like to go that route. Anyways, 5 stressors that I can see and picture as a coach at that level would include the following. I have some notes here. Um, Time away from family, recruiting, communication with athletes, lack of control over athletes' performance, and pressure of having a winning or successful season. First things, time away from family. For me, it's difficult with 3 little kids to think about spending a lot of time away from them. I already spend quite a bit of time away from them between my husband and I and our coaching obligations and stuff, but even more so at the collegiate level, the demands are higher, so time away from family will be that much greater. Things that I could do possibly be to cut off like phone calls, text messages, replies to emails and stuff at a certain time of night and just make that sort of my family time. Another thing would be to set up practice times, training sessions, scrimmages, preseason games, try to get a schedule as much working around my family schedule as possible. And if not, to make sure that I am working with my coaching staff to try to get to as many of my kids' events as possible. So that's a few things that I could do as a coach to help increase time with my family. Recruiting definitely is a big time stressor at the collegiate level. I know I was offered a job out in Nebraska about a year and a half ago, and I would have been recruiting up and down the West Coast. Just wasn't the right fit for my family at that time. But I think a way to overcome that stress would be to have a coaching staff and coaches that you could rely on for good information and feedback on certain athletes you were looking at. And then you could do the work maybe from your home or the office or that sort of stuff in regards to recruiting, or see them more directly when they come out or they come to ID camps and such. So I can see how that would be stressful, but also utilizing the people that are surrounding you to help out would be beneficial. Communication with athletes, I think first of all, establishing a good relationship with athletes is essential just so that they understand the lines of communication are open. If they're struggling with something, if they're having a hard time, whether it be in life, in school, in sports, that they know they can come and talk to you and you have an open door policy for them to come to. I also think communication in regards to their schedule, their academics and athletics, it gets difficult at that level to start balancing both. So they can come and talk to me, I should say, about whatever they need to. And I think on my end, it's important to be organized enough so that they are given information ahead of time, and that communication is there so they can let friends and family know, and they can give heads up to professors if they're going to be missing class and all that sort of stuff. Lack of control over their performance. I think it's difficult as a coach. I know even just me personally as a coach, because I'm so competitive, to not have control over the athlete's performance, but I think just understanding that there's going to be off days and each athlete's different is important. After reading the last few chapters, we now know that personality comes into play, motivation comes into play, different things that are stressing them out, their arousal levels, their anxiety levels, all of that sort of stuff is going to trigger certain levels of performance for them. So I think being that source of, they can do it, voice in their head, reassuring them of their ability and giving them confidence will only encourage them to get better the next time around. And then for me personally, just to let go of some of that control will help ease the stress in my own life. When it comes to their performance. And then finally, the pressure of having a successful season. I think I put that pressure on myself all the time to be successful, but at the upper levels, it's even more stressful because people are looking for the wins. And in my eyes, success isn't always seen in terms of wins and losses, and that's difficult to to get other people to buy into and believe. So I think different philosophies come into play as far as what success is and what the school and administrative staff is looking for, but maybe not putting so much weight on different regular season games compared to further in the season when you're looking to playoffs and things, because those are all added stresses. So taking one game at a time and looking for improvement from both your athletes and your coaching staff and yourself, and growth in that manner is something that would take the stress off of a successful season. And sorry about that. All of looking at their past seasons and records, you're just looking to do better, one game better, a few games better than the season before. It doesn't have to happen overnight. And most of the time, taking over a program, it doesn't. It takes several years. So, when you talk to your athletic director and the administrative staff, having them realize that that's going to be the case over time, it's going to change. So, those would be stressors I could see. Those would be ways that I could possibly handle them. So, thanks for listening.